Okay, if I type the letter P, I can see a before and after view, which is lovely. That's starting to get there. I'm getting some more depth into the sky, and highlights, if I go to the positive side of the ledger, once again are getting into that clipping area. So given it's the second brightest area of the image after white, so I'm going to sort of drop that stuff back a little bit. And also the shadows, just dropping the shadows back to see what I can get. Obviously too far gives me some clipping problems, but the useful thing about shadows and highlights is that they can be really tweaked quite a lot before the histogram falls apart. So what you'll see happens is that the tonal values are compressed before they're clipped, and that gives us some good options to go on with. So overall this is looking pretty good. Once again, if I type the letter P, I'm getting a little bit more drama there and interest. I've fixed up the highlights. I do have one or two little shadow areas that are clipping, but they're so tiny it's not a problem. I do need to keep an eye on larger areas of shadow detail. For instance, you know, the stuff that'll burn away too quickly if I drop the blacks. So I'm just going to leave the blacks at 0, I think, because that looks pretty good. My whites have rolled back to save that clipping in the clouds. Shadows have let me get down to -50. Highlights -25. I'm just going to have a bit of a play and see how much more contrast I can get out of this, because I can see I've got quite a bit of room at the top there after my adjustments. Let's see, looks like we can get about as high as a +50 value for contrast, which is good. Now we're seeing things looking nice and contrasty, which is far more visually appealing, although any sort of tonal adjustment does tend to impact the overall saturation. So to just finish off here, I'm just going to roll off the color saturation a little bit, typing the letter P to compare, and that looks pretty good.